Guyana is a large mainland South American country where the issues of untreated wastewater and inadequate sanitation and their health impacts are of great concern. They contribute to the pollution of drinking water and have resulted in higher health risks during the periods of flooding to which Guyana, as a very low-lying country, is prone. In addition, the issue of protection of coastal waters is important. Guyana acceded to the Protocol on Control of Land-Based Sources of Marine Pollution, or the LBS Protocol, of the Cartagena Convention in 2010. Under this protocol, effluent discharged into the Atlantic Ocean through the country's drainage canals is required to meet minimum environmental standards if it is not to contribute to pollution of the adjacent waters. As part of the CReW project, the $3 million Guyana Wastewater Revolving Fund, or the GWRF, was established in 2012 to support the efforts of the government of Guyana in improving wastewater management with specific focus on public-private partnerships. The former Ministry of Housing and Water, now a part of the Ministry of Communities, is responsible for the operation of the GWRF. It offers loans to private businesses for construction and/or rehabilitation of wastewater treatment facilities at a rate below prevailing market interest rates. Private sector enterprises are encouraged to apply to this fund and thereby to benefit from available local and international technical and financial expertise. In this way, sustainable financing can be made available to some of the country's large commercial and industrial wastewater generators. However, in the absence of laws and regulations requiring them to treat their wastewater, the low interest rates offered by the funds were not enough to attract interest in or applications from the private sector. Even when interested, the ability of applicants to meet the technical, financial, environmental, social, and legal requirements to access the funding proved challenging. Significantly, the Project Management Unit, with support from the Implementing Ministry, also initiated a strategy to market the GWRF to identify alternative new projects using a targeted approach of consultations with firms in the manufacturing and tourism sectors. This strategy, along with stakeholder consultations and initial public information campaigns, led to the identification of a short list of potential private sector projects.
We began to focus on not getting a project, but in the outcomes of the whole CReW exercise. And as I saw it, and as we believe it to be now, it is to change the whole societal thinking.
The ministry recognized there were two fundamental needs: strengthening of the enabling environment through policy, legislative, and institutional reform, and raising awareness of wastewater management issues and the benefits of better wastewater management amongst the wider public as well as decision makers. These became priorities. The ministry led an advocacy campaign designed to increase awareness of wastewater issues and show linkages with other areas. It was opportunistic about raising the issue of wastewater management, promoting its linkages with health, disaster risk, and the development of a low-carbon strategy. Awareness of wastewater issues in the CReW project increased, and stakeholder consultation progressed, so much so that when the Bureau of Standards and the Environmental Protection Agency were redrafting the industrial effluent discharge standards, and again when the septic tank standards were being redrafted, the Project Management Unit was invited to participate on the respective committees.
I think the CReW has really done lots for Guyana. We now have wastewater as a national issue. The CReW has directly influenced the creation of a unit in the Environmental Protection Agency, which will now be looking at water quality in terms of the quality of water in a wider water body system. And they're also responsible for implementing the Cartagena Convention and the LBS Protocol. Before the CReW came, those activities weren't being conducted in Guyana. And because of the challenges we've had in implementing the CReW, because of the weaknesses in the enabling environment, as we like to call it, we've clearly identified where the processes are. And we've been able to advocate to other government agencies to get more involved in wastewater management.
The issue of wastewater has effectively been promoted higher up the national agenda, and Guyana has begun the process of amending national standards for industrial effluent discharge, while at the same time promoting responsible behaviour by industry. The leadership of the ministry with responsibility for water has been critical. The importance of a champion to promote and lead the process, which requires the breaking down of barriers and collaboration, cannot be underestimated. The establishment of the GWRF effectively provided an opportunity for the government to turn the spotlight on wastewater issues. Guyana successfully used its involvement in the CReW project to initiate change, which will lead to sustainable wastewater management and its many benefits.
So an awareness could be created in Guyana among the private sector, communities, and government on the issues of wastewater management, as an opportunity to make the link between water development and wastewater.